Hello guys, Nigel here with you. Welcome back. And if you've come to see the D'Agostini Mustang build, you're in luck, because finally part 7 and 8, or 6, 7 and 8 have finally arrived in the post today. So we're going to get these put together. Box is a little bit smaller than the last box. There's not so much in this one. Well, there is, but it's not so big. But basically it's mainly seats and interior bits. So we're going to get this done today. If you haven't already heard about this, this is a 1/6 scale Mustang. You can see the poster behind me. It's actual, that's the actual genuine size. It's like 0.7 meters. It's huge. Massive model. And it's available, it's a part work. I'll put a link down in the video description down below, so you can go and click on that and you can have a look and perhaps, you know, start building it if you want to. I believe that you can still start from part 1 and that and go forward. And there are special gifts as well that come with the builds. So yeah, without further ado, let's get down to the bench, have a look at the magazines and do some building. So it's got that. These magazines have got this very slight sort of satin sheen to them, which makes them very difficult to film. So going over the page here, we've got all the details about where the model comes from and everything, and all about the readers and this, that, and the other, information for readers. So this is the original Mach 1. These were gradually softened as the prototypes evolved. The elegant car depicted below is the 1973. So they're talking about in 1966 was the original concept. And this is the 1973 model. It's called the Bread Van, I believe. It's huge. So there we go. And then going over the page here, you can see here the original 66 Mach 1, which I never knew existed, to be honest, as a Mustang fan. But you can see it's the you've got the beautiful rear there, the fastback shape coming through. You've got this very strange looking front end. Almost looks kind of Oldsmobile-like, doesn't it? Very strange. But there she is. It's got red wheels here and it's got black wheels there. So yeah, very interesting. And then here we've got the last Mach 1. They call it the current. It's no longer made. This is the 2023. It may be called a 2020. No, it was made in 21 and 22, I think. Sorry, 22 and 23. Because the 24 in America, the 24 always comes out in like August of 23. That's the way it goes. So so yeah, this is the latest one, and apparently it's a very good car. I don't like the engine in this. I don't like the fact that it's got chrome plated bores and everything, purely because it's Ford. If Audi or whatever do it, it seems to work well, but because it's Ford, and also. So I bought a 2017 because it's still got liners in the bores, and also it's got direct injection as well, which I'm not a big fan of. That's just a personal thing. But the gearbox and the clutch and everything in the Mach 1 is amazing. So if ever I was offered one as a write-off, I'd want it for the gearbox for mine. So we've got the instructions about what we're going to be doing in this part. So we can just flick through that because we'll come back to that in a minute. And now we're on about Ford Focus RS Turbo Power. So there's the first of the Focus RSs, and that is, a lot of people say, the best one. I personally think the Mark II was the best one with the Volvo engine, and then you've got the Mark III here. So the Focus RS represents the dressed up street sportiness of its brother in competition, the Focus WRC. When the WRC returned as a World Rally Champion, it was like a revelation, driven by the likes of Colin McRae, Petter Solberg and Thomas Rudstrom. So yeah, they all had turbocharged engines. The last one was the third of the 2.3 litre EcoBoost engine that is shared with the Mustang. Don't ever get those two engines confused. The 2.3 EcoBoost that's in the Mustang, I believe, is made in America. The 2.3 litre EcoBoost that was made in the RS was made in Spain. And the Mustang didn't have anything like the problems that this one had. This engine was basically just awful with problems from day one. I had one of these cars and it had to go back after it was a year old. It had to go back and have a new cylinder head. So I was not happy at all. I've gone and spent all that money on a brand new car and now it's getting ripped apart because of a design fault by mechanics in a garage that I don't trust. So it's terrible. That was, I think, the best one, the best Focus RS, the one they call the Mark II, second generation. And there's the awesome RS 500. That thing was amazing. And they're worth a fortune today. There's the Mark III. And I've just noticed actually yesterday, Ford, this engine has a wet cam belt system. The EcoBoost engines have wet cam belts, and basically it's like a cam belt running in oil. Why would you put a cam belt inside the engine? You know, belts have to be replaced. They have a lifespan. They say they last 150,000 miles. No, they don't. But now apparently there's an issue with the belts all chew up and the rubber goes into the engine and blocks up the oil pickup pipe. You know, great. So yeah. And then there's the 4th generation of Focus. No doubt there will be a Focus RS, and rumours had it years ago it would be a hybrid, so we shall see. Yeah, the ST is offering, includes the same tooth as the previous generation, but offering 280 horsepower. So the ST has still got that 2.3 EcoBoost engine in it. Oh dear. So right, let's have a look at the build for part 6, and then we can get along and have a look at the magazine for part 7. So we've got our left front seat base here. So in here we've got, where's the parts? Here they are. So we've got these bags. So we'll get this cut open. We'll just cut the bag open rather than worrying about pulling out staples and stuff. So just get that there. So we pull out here, we've got these parts. So what have we got here? Let's get rid of the bag. So we have, let's make sure we keep that in frame. So we have the left front seat base. So this is the left front seat base frame, which is 6A, so that's there. We've got the left front seat base 6B, which is there. And then we've got the seat backrest, very similar to the actual real material. And then we've got the 2 lower trims there. So we've got chrome lower trims, you can see they're very nice and shiny. Bold seams around them, but nothing to worry about. There we go. So that's those. Appearance of the items presented here may be slightly different from the parts in the issue. Don't know why that would be. Get ready the left front seat base frame. Let's get these out of the way. Left front seat base frame and left front seat base. So it says to get them ready. So we're ready. Right, what are we going to do next? So going into here, it's saying fit the left front seat frame 6A into the underside of the left front seat base. Start by inserting one side so that the edges of the seat base wrap around the frame. Make sure that the frame is fully engaged inside the seat base. So that is going to go into there like so. Let me get the light on. Because if I have the light on with the magazine, it reflects and everything. And if I have the light on, I'm not building. If I don't have the light on when I'm building, you can't see what I'm doing. So there we go. That's simple. That's just gone straight in. So that's all good. Making sure it's fully home. Yeah, there's some pins at the back there. Make sure it's below those pins. This book's making it all white out. There you go. So that's cool. And then we've got the lower left trim 6D showing here. Lower left trim 6D. Marked with an L on the back, has 2 pins that fit into the holes in the front left corner of the underside of the front seat frame 6A as shown in the picture. Press trim into place with the pins of the trim going into the hobble frames. And then this is going to be basically the same. So we'll have one here with an L on the back, so that's that one. So we'll get this one out. This is all press fit, guys. That's quite tight in there actually. So the one that says L, so this one's going to go into there. So that's going to push into those holes and there like that. So there's our trim on the left side. And then we're going to have the same for the right. So that's just going to push into there. So I'm assuming there's going to be another part of this seat to go on. We've got those tabs in there, so that's got all that held in position. And then finally retrieve the front seat backrest assembly from the previous issue, and along with the left front seat backrest outer shell, identify the 3 attachment points where the pins on the backrest fit into the holes in the posts on the shell. Press the parts fully together. So we've got to get that box out of the way. We've got to get into our box. Here we have our previous parts. So we've got to get this backrest, and that's going to press. So we've got three lugs here with holes in. You can see those there. And then we've got 3 pins the back of here. Make sure the foam is nice and centered. And I'm going to get those pins into there. We should be able to feel it just go together. There we go. It's as simple as that. You can hear it all clipping in. You've got that lovely chrome trim all the way around the edge. Look. There we go. It pushes in. It goes in nice and firm. There we are. You can see it's like a proper squishable vinyl seat for your Action Man to sit on. So that's for us. We get an idea now how big this model is. It's huge. Got bits of dust on there. So that's our backrest. This is how the two parts, base and backrest, left front seat look once this assembly has been completed. So you can see there, they're showing us how they look, and there they are in real life. So that means I've done it right. So that's that. And now it's showing us here where it goes in the car, just in case you didn't know. Let's have a look at part 7. So here we are with part 7, excuse my squeaky chair. See on the front of the magazine we've got this lovely image of the actual model itself with its hood pins and everything in. So there we go, right, so into the magazine, Racing the Mustang. And as we all know, Mustangs make fantastic race cars. There you can see typical British race with the Mustang racing with the Mini, absolutely fantastic. That's at Brands Hatch in 1966. They were the days when racing was racing and men were men, and yeah. So here we have, this is a drag car. It was very, very successful. Gasper Gas Ronda poses with his Mustang at Riverside, California in 67. The car's normally aspirated fuel injection engine was upgraded with a supercharger during the course of the season. So he had a supercharger and fuel injection in 1967. That must have been quite futuristic. And then over here we've got the 1969 Boss 302, which you probably would have seen on my t-shirt. And that one is number 15, and the t-shirt I'm wearing is number 16, and it's got a statement on there from Mario Andretti. Mario Andretti actually drove a Mustang in 68. So there we go, you can see all professional success and everything. And I can tell you that as we sit here today, on the 18th of January 2024, the Ford Mustang is the British GT4 Championship winning car. So there we are. So when people tell you that Mustangs don't handle that, they're wrong, because they've always been very successful. That's right. All the assembly sequence for our seat. We'll carry on there, and then we're into Ford. Oh, I love this car. Ford Fairlane, beautiful, massive American car, 1960s, destined to become a muscle car thanks to the big block V8. Its GT and GTA versions carried. Ford Fairlane Fastback, look at that. Even as a saloon, it's a beautiful looking car. Ford Fairlane was a car that complied with the unwritten rule of muscle cars, a mid-sized car with a full-size engine. See, I don't think a Mustang is a muscle car. I think it's a pony car, but it's generally sort of these days thought of as a muscle car. But yeah, like the new light V8 from the Windsor engine family with a 4.3 litre. So I'm guessing that would have been 289. 281 was the Rover, wasn't it? Yeah, that'd be a 289, I'm guessing. So there we go. 1966 onwards, the range included a convertible. It's a pretty looking convertible, isn't it? And then here we've got a NASCAR. January 22nd, 1967 at the Riverside Circuit. Wow, beautiful. The NASCARs were beautiful then. And then there's the front of the Ford Fairlane. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful car. And here you can see there's a fastback. And there we've got like a pickup. A Ranchero, isn't it? That is. Is that a Ranchero? Looks like a Mark II Cortina there, doesn't it? If you're English, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, the Ranchero. Also came with the GT and GTA engines, even to the Cobra Jet, or Cobra Jet, should I say? And then here we've got the fastbacks. Not so sort of keen on those. I think the earlier ones were better looking. And there we go. So let's have a look at the build we're doing here. So we have the left front seat base support. So we're going to get our part. So this is actually part 7. So we'll cut this bag open as well, making sure we don't cut anything that's inside the bag. So there's our actual seat base. Put the magazine to one side. There's 7B, whatever that is. That is the left front seat rail with adjustment lever. I wonder if we can actually adjust the seat. I doubt it. And then here we've got the sponge. We've got our right front seat, sorry, that's our right front seat rail for the left seat. Left, right, left, left. And then in here we have a bag of screws. So you can just cut these open. These are actually PS, what we're doing, that goes there, that goes over there. These are actually PS14 screws. I'm knocking all this about. So we'll get this open and we'll get those screws out on the bench. And they're already going into plastic, so we don't need to be getting any taps and dies out yet. So, retrieve the left front seat belt base assembly and the left front seat backrest assembly that you worked on in the previous issue. Offer up the seat base to the lower part of the backrest as shown. Note that the two anchor points are at different heights. So we're going to get the light on so you can see what we're doing. I don't know why they didn't tell us to do this in the last part, because we're using the parts that we had in our last part. So what we're going to do, retrieve the left front seat base, and we're going to actually put that into there. Okay, so that is just literally going to slot into there, like so. So that's all the way back. Okay, so make sure it goes, make sure this back edge here is all the way against the seat there. They are at different heights, the anchor points. Right, okay, so now Jess is going to start barking. I'm going to stop the video a minute. Okay, so that's, she's had her barking session now. So now it's telling us here to fit the sponge. Now, I'm going to read this out to you. Next, you put the front seat base padding inside the left front seat base. The thicker end of the padding is at the front and the flat side faces the outside, downward. Insert the front seat base padding into the seat base. The thickest area of the padding should be below the edge of the front. They're telling you twice. So that's going to go into there. So you've obviously got, this is the rounded side. You can see it's not flat, okay? And then you've got a thick end and a thin end. So clearly that's going at the front, that's going at the back, and this flat side here, rather than the curved side, is going towards the bottom. So that's going to go in there and just sit in like that, okay? This backrest is just hanging on at the moment, so don't worry about that all flopping about. Now position the left front seat base support over the base padding. Fit the support in position as shown in the circular photo and secure it with 4 PS14 screws as shown above. So we're going to take this seat base and it's going to go that way up. That front edge is going to slot. You've got this trim here, this soft trim. This front base is going to slot in behind there and it's just going to push down, and that is going to give us our hinge points. I'm just looking how it's locating in here so that I can show you in case you're unclear. Okay, so we'll leave the foam out. These 4 lugs here, you can see these 4, it's difficult to see because it's all black, but these 4 raised areas with these screw holes in, okay, they are going to go into these 4 recesses. Let me put this down. They're going to go into these 4 recesses here. Okay, so you've got those recesses here that I'm pointing at where the screws go. Okay, so what we're going to do is pick it up with the seat back resting, and this point here and this point here where the slots are, they're going to be the hinges for the seat backrest. So they're going to go around those pins on the seat backrest. So this has got to come forward, and you'll know when it's right because you've got these steps here that line up with the back of the chrome trim, and you'll feel it go in. And we've got, you get a little screwdriver in here, this rubber trim here from the, there we go, that's got to come over, and that is going to come over and go into these holes. I can't quite see how we're going to get it to go over. But if you remember, we've got this piece of trim, this soft trim here, that is from the base, and I'm going to basically pull that over. This is just like building a real seat, I must be honest, but we will get it together. Right, so first things first, we're going to grab, I'm going to put one of these little screws in here. These are tiny, so we must be really careful not to over tighten them. Just turn them until they stop, You only want one screw. Pick up the screw by its head, drop it into the hole. Just going to put that in the hole just a couple of turns. I'm going to put that one in there as well. Just like so. Whoops. It's not gone fully home yet. So there we go. You heard that click in there. So that's going to go into there. As I say, be really careful not to over tighten these because it'll be so easy to strip the threads on these. Magnetic screwdrivers are wonderful when they're wonderful. And when they're not wonderful, they're not wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to just check that one's tight. It's very difficult. It's sometimes better to use a smaller screwdriver. You get a better feel. But you'll know if it's right because it'll all be held in position. So that's that. We've done that. Okay, now get the left front seat. Are they talking about the back at all? No, they're not. This piece here at the back. So we can fold that seat forward. This piece here which is the base, the back of the base, that needs to come over and clip into the back of that seat. They're not talking about that in the instructions that I can see. So that needs to be pulled up like so, and there's 3 holes for it to go into. We've got, as you can see on there by my finger, this black, everything being black is not helping at all. You can see where the end of the screwdriver is. You can see there's a molded on pin, and there's a hole there, and that's where that pin's got to go into. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a little nudge down with the screwdriver and make sure it goes into that hole. There we go. Right, so that's got into those holes. So you know the back is now pulled down properly. We've got the seat is hinging forwards and backwards as it should, which is very nice. That's all very good. I'm just going to check that screw there is tight, because that feels a bit loose there. There we go. Right, now the seat rails are going to go on next. Right, so I had to have a little cough and sneeze then. So we've got the seat rails going on. So we have the left front seat rail with adjustment lever identified with an L ringed in the small circular photo. 2 pins on the rail fit into the 2 holes in the support. Press the rail into position so the lever is at the front of the seat as shown in the larger circular photo. So that one's going to go, so that one's the left, yep, so that one's going to go into there. So you've got 2 pins, 2 holes, and the lever has to stick out the front. Okay, so it looks like maybe going forward, maybe the seat is going to be adjustable. That's just going to press into there, and that's just going to press into there. It's a nice tight fit. We've got the lever sticking out there, and then the right hand rail is going to go. Okay, we need to make sure we get this the right way round. When you look in the magazine, it's showing you you've got the R. Now it's not showing us which way it goes. We'll get it the same as that one. So I think the longer section goes to the rear. Yes, if you put it in the other way round, if you have the longer section to the front, you can see it's sticking out a lot more than that one. So on here you have 2 pins and you have a longer section here than you do there. So the longer section goes to the rear. Just push that in, that's very tight. There we go. So that's all gone together like that. So there's our front left seat. So that's our driver's seat for this car because it's a left-hand drive. And as you can see there, when you pull that forward, those bits and pieces are all held in there nicely. Just like that. Okay. So there we are. So you can see now the size of this model. There's the seat in my hand. It's huge. Right, so that's that seat done. Let's have a look at step 8. Right, into the final part of this video then. This is part 8. So opening up the book, we can see in here we have Shelby and Ford, a perfect alliance. It certainly was. And then here you've got Carroll Shelby and Dan Gurney. If any of you've seen on spoilers on cars, they sometimes have a little extra bit on the back of the spoiler that slides up and down. That's actually called a gurney flap, and it was him that developed that. So here we have Carroll Shelby with a GT40. This is one of the long-tail GT40s, so it may look a little strange to some of you. And this is all about the GT40, how successful a car it was. Absolutely brilliant. Wins at 1967, 68 and 69. So fantastic car. So we've got the assembly instructions here for the build part of it, which is going to be the left-hand door card. And now we're into Ford Fiesta WRC, a born winner. Yes, certainly was. Very, very good car. Not so successful at the later stages, but here we are, 2017. Sebastien Ogier drove it to victory and won the drivers and teams title that year. It seems whatever Sebastien Ogier gets involved with just wins. His name, everything he touches turns to gold. Beautiful looking car. Obviously everything's changed now. It's all hybrid and everything, but you do still have some Fiestas in the lower level. I think it's in WRC 3, I think there's Fiestas. So we're talking all about the different power of the cars and everything. Again, we've got Sebastien Ogier there way up in the air. And then here he is again, wearing his sunglasses, and his co-driver Julian Ingracia celebrate victory in the 2017 Rally to Portugal. One of 2 wins they achieved that season. And you can see more pictures there. That's a later car again. The large bodywork. You can see there's Elfyn Evans. He's now one of my favourite drivers because he drives a GR Yaris, which is the car I now own. This is, alongside the Mustang, I also have a GR Yaris, which is a lovely, lovely little car, 4-wheel drive, pocket rocket. And then here we've got some lovely Teemu Suninen in the Fiestas. Lovely. 2020, so they changed the shape of them. Oh, we need the magazine, don't we, for the instructions. So here we are, we're going to get on with the build now with part 8. So we're going to leave our seats behind and we're going to do some left door interior panels. So again, we've got a bag, so there's no plastic trays to cut open. So we're just going to cut this bag open and make sure we don't damage anything inside again. So we've got our actual, we'll get this seat out of the way over there. So we've got our actual door panel here. You can see that moulded on little door lock. Unfortunately, it doesn't go up and down. That would be taking things a bit far. We've got some screws. And then here we have some more screws. And then we have some more screws. And we have the door trim and the interior handles and everything. So it looks like there's going to be a nice little build this. We're not going to actually get to fit this to the door at this stage because we don't have all the window winder mechanism and everything. But I'm sure we'll get there. Right, so we have the left door interior panel. So we should have, we're just checking our parts. So we should have the left panel there itself. And then we should have this piece here. If I can get it out. It's in there really tight. Wow, that is in there tight. That really is in there very, very tight. There we go. So we've got, get those screws out of the way. So we've got that piece there, and then we've got our little handle. Oops, that was in tight as well. And then we have the chrome trim. I'm going to be very careful not to break this because it's probably going to be quite easy to snap if it's plastic. So I'm just going to bend the plastic tray rather than bend the trim. Just gently, there we go, just gently get it out. So that's how we get rid of that tray over there. And then we've got PS12 screws. That's PS11, that's PS12, PS11 and PS05. So that's cool. So we've got all our screws there in their packs. We'll leave them in the packs because we've got more than one pack. We'll leave them in their packs until we actually get on with the build. So it's saying get ready the interior door. Let me put the light on for you. Get ready the interior door panel chrome trim 8D and the left interior panel panel 8A. Look at the groove in the panel that the trim fits in and identify where the trim's 4 hollow pegs are inserted into matching holes as shown in the picture. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in there. You can see 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then on the chrome trim we have 4 hollow pins going in. You can see we've got an L on there to identify it should you need to. So that's just going to go into there, like so. That's going to go into there like that. There we go. So that's our chrome trim, and that looks nice, doesn't it? That looks very nice indeed. Again, very similar material to the real thing, I believe. It's certainly similar to my 2017 Mustang. They're not known for the best of interiors, shall we say, but it's functional. So now, next, fix the chrome trim into its groove in the panel, flip the panel over, and the inside of the panel, attach the trim with 4 PS12 screws. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to grab our door panel, which is being wrapped up. It's got a mark on it there. It's been wrapped up in that cloth, so we're going to put that over there out of the way, and we're going to put our cloth down on the bench. Excuse my squeaky chair. And we're going to put the door panel down like that. Okay, and we're going to put 4 screws in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're using PS12 screws. So here's the PS12 screws. So we can cut this bag open. We can get them out. We should have 5. They normally give us 1 extra. There we go, we've got the extra ones. So these really are tiny. So that's going to go in there. So what I'm going to do is just put them in. That's pushing the chrome trim away rather than... I'm just going to put them in a couple of turns. Put my finger on the trim at the back. And the reason I'm using a cloth is because I don't want to scratch anything. I want it all to look its best. It's got to look its best for prom night. Whoops. So that's going to go in there. There we go. And that's going to go in there. And then we're going to just put these screws in just so that until they stop. Obviously we do not need to have these graunched up. They're not doing anything. It's not like the seat base holding the seat to the... It's just holding this trim in. It's nice that they've done this rather than just have it clipping in, because quite often the clips break or whatever. So it's nice they're doing this screwed together. There we are. So that's that chrome trim in. That looks lovely, doesn't it? Just get any finger marks off of there, just like so. I keep a little old Tamiya paint pot to put the spare screws in. Okay, keep all your spare. You can see all the spare screws there from the build. So keep all them. Right. So now we've done that. So now what it's asking us to do, we'll put the panel out of the way. Now what it says, now take the interior door opening handle 8C and position its circular end on the hole on the left of the interior door panel compartment 8B. So this is 8B, and they're asking us to put this into that hole. Like that, and then snap the handle in position and screw it with a PS11 screw. Do not over tighten the screw. The handle must be able to move to simulate opening. So we've got a PS11 screw. We've got 2 of those. Again, we always get an extra one. And these are basically screws with a great big flat head. You can see we've got a massive washer on there. Okay, so that's going to go into here. I can't see how that's going to hold it in. I guess it's going to be held in by the... Wow, that's tight going in there. So that needs to be able to move freely. So I'm just going till it stops and then coming back a touch. And there you go. That's not going to hold it in. Obviously the door, the design of the model is going to hold it in. It keeps wanting to pop out. There we go. Okay, so that's that in there. Place the compartment in its housing on the inside of the panel. Note that the handle must pass through the rectangular opening on the left as shown in the picture. Place the compartment in position and make sure that the handle protrudes through the other side of the panel. So we've got our panel here, so we need to that's going that way round, and that is going to go through that hole. Okay, so now that handle there is your door opening handle. Alright, and then they're going to ask us to fit this in place. So that's basically, just so you're clear on what I've done there, that's gone in like that. Okay, and then that is going to go into there through that hole, and then when you hold it in place it's going to be sitting on the inside there like that. Okay, it looks like that's not going to actually be doing anything because it just looks like it's for show, unless we're going to be taking that screw out later and putting something else in there. So now it's asking us to use 2 PS5 screws. So we've got that spare screw that can go in with the others. So we should have 3 of these in here because there's always one spare. There we go. So we've got 2 of these. I'm going to put one on the screwdriver, pick up the door panel and get that one in there. I'm sorry about all this black, guys. It's makes filming very difficult. Well, it makes the camera difficult to see anything. I've actually got that misaligned. So that's going to go into that hole. Oh, go on into the hole. And then screw that screw in. Then we'll grab another one. So this panel doesn't want to fit very well. It needs to be pushed up. Oh. Will you please stay on the screwdriver? That would be nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is actually have to push that. You can see that it's sitting like that. If you look at this hole here, you can see that it's misaligned and I have to push it up to get it to align. So that's gone in now. There we go. And now our handle is free to work. If you want to give it a little bit of friction, just give it a little tiny touch on there and it will become not so wobbly and rattly about. But maybe later we're going to put something on there that's going to operate the opening latch. I don't know. We're going to put that screw in there. And that, my friends, is that. This is what the left inner door panel looks like with the chrome trim and door opening handle after this assembly is complete. So you can see that's that there. And that is basically, at the end of the day, it's going to fit into our door, which is here, looking all beautiful. And it looks like we've just got a sprung-loaded latch, so that handle probably won't do anything. I'm not sure if we're going to have operating windows. I thought we were on this one. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. So that's basically going to fit onto there like that. You can see there's the gap where the window's going to go. We'll probably have a nice piece of chrome trim along there and everything. So you can see the size of this thing. It's massive, but and it weighs a ton as well. So very nice indeed. Right. So that is that, guys. We are done. We have completed step 6, 7, and 8, and we've now got a fully built up left-hand driver's seat, and we have a partly built up interior door card. So there we go. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, if you want to build along with me, you can get one of these on the D'Agostini website. There's a link below. If you use that link, it lets D'Agostini know how many people are coming from my channel. That's why that link looks different than you'll see on others. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon, and bye for now.